Hello, and welcome to the very first vlog version of this Errant Mongrel Scribblings. Like I wrote in my last newsletter, I thought I'd give vlogging this thing a try, so you get to hear my lovely voice blathering on. I figured I'd follow the same format as my newsletter, so let's just go ahead and get started with Mupdates. Me plus updates equals me updates, or Mupdates. So I guess we can start with some house updates. House stuff is settling down. I noticed my erosion issue is still a bit of a problem, but it's a lot better than it was. I need to get out there with a shovel and bury the internet line. Gardening is ticking up a bit too. I have a bunch of dirt ready to put in my raised beds. I also finished putting tung oil sealant on the raised beds so they don't immediately rot out there. I've started some new seedlings as well. Look at these little seed babies. I didn't know baby plants need to be slowly introduced to the outside. Just needs outside in small doses. Me too, little plant puppies. Me too. That's about it for house updates. Next up is a new little section I'm calling Finding Friends. I'm basically just trying to make friends as an adult. So this weekend will be the last meeting of this local community printmaking group I've been going to. We've been meeting monthly to try and complete the 12 steps of this thing called The Artist's Way. It's a book by Julia Cameron, who's a screenwriter. It's basically a workbook on getting unblocked as an artist. I can say that the book has helped me get a little more inspired about drawing again. I feel like there's this more possibilities kind of thing going on. It didn't cure my depression, but I have been sketching more. I've really enjoyed the meetings and getting to talk to the other artists who are also trying to get unblocked. That's been really nice. I've signed up to table at a print fest the printmaking shop is set up, so that's happening next month. I do need to design a new print, or at least pick one to share, because we're going to be doing a print swap, 10 of us who are tabling. So we can trade art. I'll get 10 art pieces, stuff to put on my walls. I've been joining in on the sketchbook club with the printmaking group too. I tend to stay very quiet though, because I can kind of be overwhelming, I've realized. So I kind of just observe and chill. I think I'm just trying to be involved rather than do anything else. And that's really all I have for updates. So next we'll get into grad school. So it's been a few weeks since I started grad school, and I feel like I'm finally in a groove after being exhausted for a bit. I do work full time, and it's been about 10 years since I was in school, so I'm getting used to that as well. I'm taking 2 classes this semester, so I'll have 2 projects completed by the end, or at least mostly completed, I hope. Alright, so class 1 is called Informal Learning. It's basically a class about how to develop educational things for people who are in non-formal places. It's kind of it's redundant, yeah, but it's kind of like the education you get from going to a museum or going on a field trip or going to a zoo, and just how people learn normally without being in a school. So we're supposed to use digital media to make it educational, and that could be things like websites, virtual reality, games, augmented reality, and so on. So my idea is a virtual elephant meeting experience. I started thinking about it before the class started, actually, and I was thinking I could make a virtual mammoth experience. But the more I thought about it, the more I figured it would be better to do a non-extinct animal. So my mammoth turned into an elephant, and now I'm making a virtual elephant meeting experience. Really, it's kind of an excuse to pet a virtual elephant. So yeah, we have to use it to teach people stuff. I thought it would be fun to be the host, so you'll actually see me as Marley in the experience. and I'll be like facilitating the whole thing. I'm going to also bring in a fictional friend of mine, one of the Shay Moonikin, to change into the elephant. So she will basically show you the elephant behavior and you can interact with her. And then she can explain why she made her acting choices. And those choices will be based on research I've done into elephant behavior. But to make it even more educational, I thought I'd have my Shay friend pretend to be a wild elephant and then pretend to be a captive one. So one trained to follow human commands for like zoos and circuses. That way you can see the difference between the natural behavior and the non-natural behavior. So you can make your own conclusions, hopefully. I'd like to teach folks to kind of like recognize how learned helplessness kind of happens and lowered executive functioning when learned helplessness is a thing. Maybe transfer some of those skills to other humans. Encourage more empathy and respect. Yeah, it's a lot to ask, but you know what? I'll try it. See if I can do something cool with it. I've been researching how to build an artificial neural network to control the elephant's behavior. I figured it would be more useful that way rather than have like a predetermined set of commands, but we'll see. There's a lot of math. My final paper may just end up saying, I failed in 10 pages. So that's the one project I'm doing. The next project I'm doing is for my second class. This one is a bit more loose since it just involves learning to program. We're going to be creating an adventure game using P5 JavaScript. So I haven't delved too deep into this one yet, but my first idea is to like have a little game where you get to meet each one of the Moonikin people. It was inspired by the Chinese zodiac story where all the zodiac animals travel to meet Buddha. So the basic goal is that a representative of each of the Moonikin people is supposed to meet this celestial judge, and you choose which Moonikin person you'd like to represent. Then you go on a little quest to meet the judge. Along the way, you get the option of helping or not helping the other Moonikin. Spoiler, you can skip ahead if you don't want to hear, but yeah. Okay, spoiler folks, you're gone? Okay, so if you choose not to help, you'll get a bad ending where not everyone reaches the judge and he has to come help you instead. And if you choose to help everyone, you'll get the good ending where the judge will give you all a gift. So that's the story. I was thinking of presenting it in like a visual novel format. I was inspired by this little game called The Curse of the Juniper Tree. It's really fun. You should play it. It's only like 30 minutes long and it'll run right in your computer browser. I do recommend playing it on the computer or the PC. It doesn't seem to work as well on a mobile phone. I have no idea how much work will be involved in making a game like that, but I am definitely willing to give it a try. So yeah, spoiler folks can listen back in now. And full disclosure, for this game I am planning on using some AI to help me code. I know, I'm feeding into the madness. AI is taking all the jobs. I figured might as well get to know the enemy, or at least try to understand it. To be clear, I'm still pretty annoyed and frustrated by AI that makes art. I stand by Brandon Sanderson's definition of AI artists. You're not really making the art, you're directing a computer to make the art for you. So yeah, that's my current position on the subject. I won't be using AI in my artwork or my writing, but to help me organize, to learn code, to brainstorm, possibly. So yeah, I kind of use it to help me learn. With code, it either works or it doesn't. And you kind of have to know what you're doing in the first place. So I'll often just copy a piece of code and ask the AI to explain each line to me. And it's actually really helpful to learn that way. It's like having a teacher like there all the time. When it adds code that I don't understand, I just keep asking it, why did you do that? And it will answer me. I want to use it to help me understand the code, and the AI is better at explaining some math to me than any of my teachers kind of were. Long story short, I was really bad at math. I honestly think I have some sort of perception problem when it comes to numbers. I've never been diagnosed with any, like, disabilities, but I just get my numbers mixed up a lot. So when the AI explains the math to me or illustrates it, I actually get it. And the good thing about math is that it's like a right or wrong answer, and I know that the AI gets math wrong too. But when the math can turn into something visual, like in coding, and like the button doesn't work, or the circle is a line instead of a circle, I can at least recognize that the math is wrong. And then I can ask it to be like, why is this wrong? Or I can go look up the code itself in Google and find a page that explains it for me. So that's the kind of AI help I ask for. I'm not using it to replace anyone, except maybe like a teacher or a mentor. But I am using it to help me where I'm deficient, which right now is in math. So yeah, those were my 2 projects, and that's really all I have going on at the moment. More updates to come. Maybe next week, maybe a couple weeks from now, we'll see. Hoping to at least get a monthly update out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this format. Gonna keep trucking on and see how we do. Hope you all have a good one and stay safe out there. Fare thee well.